All right, hello everyone. So welcome to our unboxing of our first comic. Woohoo!
Woo!
Yay! Only took us 20 years to put together. I'm going to be sharing that story here in a little bit, but so just to explain our setup here, so my wife and I have a newborn, so we're still pretty much practicing quarantine, so that's why Roy and I had to do this. We had to kind of cheat with this unboxing a little bit, yeah. So Roy's in my bunker. No, he's actually
I'm
in
in
my
the basement. Help!
yeah.
Joel's trying to chain to a table.
He's actually in my garage, and I'm just hanging out in the kitchen with my one copy that he allotted to me. So,
That's all you get, Joe. That's your payment.
yeah, so it's going to be interesting to hold this so that way it stays. But first off, just thank you to everybody who supported.
Thank you.
This is something we've been wanting to do for a long time, and we only wanted to do as many physical copies as people ordered. We didn't want to overdo it because unfortunately we can't be going to conventions right now and getting tables and doing the traditional stuff that we would have been doing. But thankfully, that's why we had the digital option. So thank you to those of you who did buy the book digitally, which, by the way, it's still available. If you missed it, only 99 cents.
Yeah, plug it, Joe. Plug it.
That's right. But, that's not to say that this will never be printed again. But, that time will tell. So, but I mean, it's just awesome to hold it, and to finally just put it together. I mean, let's see, think backwards, Joe. But this is my copy, by the way, so don't feel like I'm messing up anybody's copy. I know, right? I should have worn gloves.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah. But and thank you to Comix Wellspring for helping us put this together. Yeah, they have awesome customer service. They even helped Roy make sure that the pages were lined up correctly.
Oh yeah, they did a fantastic job. These look so good.
Yeah. So, and Roy definitely, he was very conscious about making sure that the colors were bright and vivid, so that way when they print on paper, of course everything prints darker on paper. So, and by the way, that's the realization of that page. Those who got the digital copy probably didn't understand the formation of the boxes. It's like I had to explain it to Roy and Sarah, like they form a V. They form a V.
Justify it, Joe. It's been printed.
No, it's recorded now.
All right. Yeah. Refer to this as your YouTube guide to how to read this book.
Yeah.
Especially page, was it 5 and 6 or 4 and 5?
I think it was 5 and 6.
There you go.
This one is my personal favorite, the one of Joe here in the masked man costume. I just love the way this looks. I think the colors came out really good on this one. And I remember when you first what?
The pages look great. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, yeah, we probably can't talk over each other anyway because we don't have mics. So so it's fine. But for us, like I said, this started back in college for us. So to see these characters on the page like this, especially after so many years, it's like seeing old friends again, was the comment I made to Roy.
Yeah.
Because we've been working on this for so long.
It's a labor of love.
It is, yeah. As our little message on the back here says. And once again, Comix Wellspring, they're where it's at.
Yeah.
Shout out to our friend Chuck Pino. He's the one that told us about it. So thank you, Chuck, because they definitely were worth it. So
thanks, Chuck. Appreciate all your help, man.
Yeah, it's been awesome to help us with this. I mean, Chuck's a local comic editor and creator and writer, and he does it all. So I'll probably post to his channel at the bottom, but it's not safe for work, just FYI. But yeah, I mean, while Roy's doing his part, because I'm gonna come after him and after he's done and sign my part. I always, when we were starting this, it actually had a totally different name. Some of y'all might have seen, if you look back on the Facebook page of How to Hunt a Hero, you'll find the old old name and old logo. It was originally called Average Joe, a Casual Hero, and it had the same cast of characters that you see there on that page I showed, which is Joe and his best friends Jerry and Pete, his girlfriend Val. All the characters stayed the same. They were the characters that were there from the beginning. As I'm talking here, I don't know exactly what I still have saved because Roy and I literally had this stuff saved on old floppy disks.
Oh yeah. Oh, you have to post that.
Yeah, I'll see if I can put up a picture of that. But that's how long we've been working on this. This technology has surpassed us. But it actually worked in our favor.
Yeah, we're not old, we just leveled up, Joe.
That's right. Technology surpassed us because I know digital comics didn't exist.
Oh yeah.
So we wouldn't have had that option.
Yeah.
This actually started as an idea as a web comic, because DC had a web comic service at the time called Zuda, I think it was called.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's why we formatted it that way, kind of like the old school Sunday newspaper style. I don't know if you have any of those that I'll show here, but yeah, so, I remember we came up with this literally the night before September 11th. And the only reason I remember that is because we stayed up late talking about it and designing the characters. And then I actually slept through my first class the next day because we stayed up so late. And then I remember my grandmother calling me asking if I was okay. And I was like, why? And that's when I turned on the TV and was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
So kind of a bittersweet memory of the, genesis of this, but after that.
It's a good thing you remember that, Joe, because I have no recollection of any of that since the last time. But there you go, guys.
Yeah, well, having Roy as a friend is like the movie 50 First Dates for me. It's just like he's my Drew Barrymore. I'm just like, Roy, here's the videotape. Watch it. We're still friends. We met in college. It's like it goes through the whole thing.
You're like, I remember you at all, Joe.
I know, right? That's again how old it is, right? I started showing you a VHS tape. Now now DVD, then Blu-ray. I'll just keep upgrading you. Now it's streaming. I'll just stream to you every morning.
We're in the Matrix, Joe.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, the real reason Joe slept in late because he was partying all night. He's
yeah, like nerds party, coming up with comic book ideas.
Joe was Mr. Party in college. Oh my gosh. Oh, those nights, Joe.
Yeah, but the original idea, well, you know what? I'll let you share because it was actually your idea first.
Oh, please, by all means, go ahead and share because honestly, I can't remember.
Surprise. If I remember, you were just like, what if you had powers and the kind of what would you do with them, basically, right?
Yeah.
And then and you were like, what do you think Joe looks like? And you had me actually sketch out what I thought he looked like. And then you just basically took the sketch and made it pretty. So, which is what we've done for a long time.
Well, speaking of, I did have a friend of mine, shout out to Stouffer in California, asked about Joe, like, who is Joe? Who is Joe based on? And you want to share who Joe is based on?
Well, he's kind of an amalgamation of us, isn't he? Because he's not really me. He's not really you.
At least that's what my answer was because I couldn't remember, so I just said that. No, I'm kidding. No, he is. Joe is basically an amalgamation of kind of our life experiences a little bit. Not that we have superpowers, but just the experience, the life experiences, and just funny stories. Gosh, for years, yeah. And he just kind of came together. As far as his look, yeah, I guess he's more. I don't know. I don't really know where the inspiration came for the look. It just hit me, and it just felt right, and he was just really easy to draw over and over again, kind of like he was meant to look that way the whole time. So, I mean, I know he's changed a little bit, with the times, but I tried to give him a very, I don't want to say generic, but at least something that would last over the years. So, jeans and a t-shirt never gets old. So,
yeah. Yeah, and that was the idea too, is that, it was hard to make the story timeless. People always talk about making stories timeless, but it's kind of hard unless you set it like in a fantasy world or something. Because it's the technology that drags you down. It's like, in the original script, when I was rereading them, I mentioned DSL, connection for their internet. You know, it's like, yeah. And it's like, I'm pretty sure, of course, they had cell phones, but it probably would have been flip phones back then, you know?
We were
Oh,
on.
it does, because remember, there's the character Oscar, and he has a flip phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we haven't even shown him yet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We
So,
just have to. Oh, we got a lot to cover. So guys, this is just a preview issue, just in case we haven't hammered it in enough. This is simply a preview issue of what we've been working on. So this just gives you a little glimpse into what this world is going to be, and there's so much more content, so much more story. This just gives you a fraction, a teeny tiny tip of the iceberg of what our story is. So you can imagine how much time we've had to really form this idea and just come to this great adventure. Honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's light. We try, and luckily Joe is really good about kind of keeping me. I tend to skew to the dark side a little bit, so Joe's been really good about pulling me back. Like, whoa! This is kind of a comedy. We want to keep this light and airy and fun. I'm like, oh, that's right. Okay, I have Joe like doing all crazy stuff, and he's like, no, let's just bring it back in. I'm like, oh, that's right. I want to, and we do tackle. I mean, a couple things. Nothing too heavy, but again, this is just based on like life experiences and stuff. I mean, it could be everything from like breakups, but you're a superhero. It can be relationships. It's about friendships. It's about trust and loyalty and all those things. So it's a lot of positive stuff. The question I get a lot with these is this going to be something that maybe younger readers can read? I think we kind of like, what did we settle on, Joe, as far as age? What's a good age?
I mean, teenagers for sure.
Yeah.
You know, that's mainly because we're dealing with a college setting, you know, and it's like, unfortunately, college is not, you know, for kids. So,
yeah. And again, this is drawn by a bunch of nerds, and we wrote this as we are. So, you know, it's not like we, you know, nothing's wrong with it, but we didn't party heavily or anything like that. So there's nothing in the book that, you know, there's no nudity or even heavy language, honestly. So, you know, it's a lighter book. It's still fun. I think it's still relevant even today. You know, like Joe was saying, we're just trying to keep it. What's the word? Contemporary, I guess, and still kind of tell our story and our experiences, and just kind of evolve the story as time progresses, I guess.
Yeah, because this has been a lot of different things. Like I said, it started off as a web comic. You know, we were gonna, which of course we never published it. It never. We have some strips that never showed the light of day. We'll probably release those at some point in the future, just so you can see what they were like. I actually got on a kick one year after watching the Futurama DVD extra that showed how to follow a script, like an animated script, and so I have 9 episodes
Oh, that's right.
of an animated series written for this in that style. And I remember even reaching out. You guys probably, if you follow pop culture, you've seen a lot of hype around the Castlevania series on Netflix. And now they're going to do, you know, Masters of the Universe. That's Powerhouse Animation Studios in Austin. And I remember even reaching out to them, God, over 10 years ago now, from maybe 15, you know, at the time. And back then, I think their biggest claim to fame was one of the Kevin Smith episodes for his Clerks cartoon.
Yeah.
You know,
when you wrote the script for those, that's what I thought of. Like, it reminded me of it so much. I remember when you showed me that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So I mean, those exist. You know, if we ever get the chance to make an animated, those would have to be rewritten at this point because they're heavily dated. I could tell when I went back and reread them again. Mainly the technology, some of the terminology.
Yeah.
But it's fun to see it evolve. But you know, that was the thing too, is that because it started off the whole, you know, Joe's discovering his powers and his friends are helping him, you know, Jerry's the one who is all about it. He's like, yes, I finally get to be a sidekick, you know, and Pete is like, no, we don't need to, you know, encourage this. So he's the voice of reason. And that's what it was for the longest time. But fast forward 20 years and we've had, you know, all the Marvel movies, we've had, you know, all the DC movies and all the other comic companies that have put out movies. And the whole origin story has been played out for the general public. Because for us comic fans, that origin story has been played out for years. And, you know, it is what it is. But we were like,
go ahead.
No, I'm just going to say that's when we were like, well, maybe we should maybe we should change the perspective so that way people don't just look at it and be like, ah, it's just another hero origin, you know, who cares?
Right.
You know, it's oversaturated at this point. So, you know, let's talk about Ava for a second. So Ava, she wasn't in the original cast. If you remember, when we were coming up with the webcomic, she was actually a character called Courtney.
Yeah.
And you had designed her as just a one and done character. She was going to be a rival for Val during like this storyline in the webcomic that was going to be kind of like a riff on the Star Wars, you know, episodes 1 through 6 at the time.
Ooh, they gave us a fancy kind of. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah. And she was just going to be a foil, you know, mainly for Val, and then she was going to be done. And I remember, again, if I have her design, it'd be great to see, because I love, again, the evolution of her. Because we were always wanting her to kind of emulate Darth Vader,
Mm-hmm.
your original design, she had a CD player hanging around her neck to make you think.
Portable CD players.
Yeah, to make you think about the you know, the device that's on Vader's chest.
Yeah.
And so that was her origin. And then I don't even remember how it came about, where you brought up the idea of the cryptids and her, or what brought that about. I can't even, that's one thing I can't remember. I don't remember when the cryptids came into it.
I don't remember specifically, but I've always had, anyone that knows me knows I'm kind of crazy about supernatural stuff and Bigfoot and, you know, any cryptids, basically any kind of like creature of mystery, you know, has always fascinated me. I love watching stuff like Top 5 and, you know, all these unexplained. I grew up with unsolved mysteries, and I really just, something just drew me into those stories with, you know, where it was like a Bigfoot story, you know, the unexplained were my favorite episodes and or little segments. And so, you know, it just felt like something I wanted to do, something that I would really just be passionate about and something I'm really interested in. I love hearing stories from people, ghost stories or little stories like that from my friends. And so it just, I guess, kind of just subconsciously trickled in. And I know you have a better memory than I do, Joe, but I don't remember how exactly, but I know that when it did, it just felt like lightning. And I was like, oh, this is something what do they say? Write what you know, or draw what you know, I guess. Mm-hmm. And so that was something I could really get behind. And it just really, for me, it elevated the story. I was like, okay, this would be cool because, you know, here we have Joe, who, by the way, in this world is the world's first superhero, you know, so we're kind of doing that. But we wanted to put a spin on it. Like, okay, well, fine. You have a superhero needs somebody he needs to fight. And, you know, it wasn't, I didn't want to be like, I didn't want it to be a cruel thing, or he's just going around beating up Bigfoot. So we really, Joe, through, I don't know where he gets the inspiration or how he comes up with the stories on and how he makes things connect, how his brain works. But he made this, you made this thing like, you connected the dots basically. Like, here, Joe, I'm going to throw, here's this. Now do something with it, Joe. But, you know, I had a general idea. And I know I'm infamous, I think, with Joe for just middle of the night, 2 a.m, Joe, I have an idea. Remember, I told you this because I'm gonna forget tomorrow. So you got it. You know, it's there. It's in our thing. You know, we've got the idea down. But I mean, I used to do that with like notes. I would just write it. Like I'd be in school or at work or something, and I would just jot down the idea. So yeah, I mean, it just kind of formed from my love of just those crazy like stories, and I believe in Bigfoot and Santa Claus and all that. I'm a kid at heart, so it was really easy for me to kind of to work that into the story. So or as far as wanting to get it into the story, and then Joe just used his magic and my sticker flew away. Yeah, and Joe just to kind of like figure out how to make it work and really put things together. I would not be able to, let me just say this, I would not be able to do this without Joe. And you know, of course, Comic Spring and everybody else, shout out. But Joe really helped form this idea and kind of cemented and just kind of molded it, you know, like clay. And so, you know, it's a huge advantage to have you in my corner, and then also to be able to publish this under Child's Play Comics. So it's really a passion project, a dream come true. So thank you, Joe. I'll put that out there right now. And yeah. So.
Well, same here. Obviously, it would look like stick figures if I was drawing it. So Comics Wellspring would have been like, what is this? Rejected. We've never rejected a project in our life. But
you give yourself too much credit, Joe. I think that's an insult to comic stick figures.
But yeah, it is funny how, yeah, most of the time I commit to memory a lot of this stuff, but I don't remember how the cryptids thing started. I think we just, like you said, you brought it. I feel like you just brought it up to me one day and you're like, hey, what about this? And yeah, I just was like, okay, so, it's that old, well, let's just make her rich so that way we don't have to worry about how does she hunt these things. She has money.
Yeah. Throw money at it. That's our solution.
Yeah.
Throw money at it. Got a problem? Throw money at it.
So it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, the whole Batman, Iron Man thing. What's your superpower? I'm rich.
Yeah.
But
great line.
And it allowed us to play with so many. It opened up that toy box for Roy, especially. To just go in there and design all the cryptids and like he said, it's funny you brought that up. That yeah, it's not a cruel thing for us to just like have Joe beating up Bigfoot. It's like they're being controlled by Ava, and so yeah, that was the whole thing of switching the point of view to her side of it and why she did it, and if you read the preview, you see her reasons why, and I think that was the main thing is once we switched the point of view, a lot of the things on Joe's side, I'm trying to like not give too much away if people haven't read the preview issue.
Spoiler alert, Joe.
Yeah, but the point is that there was a lot of aspects on Joe's side that we just kept writing, and we're like, why does this happen? And we're like, I don't know, we'll figure it out later,
The wizard did it.
Yeah, but there really was an aspect of that, until we changed it to her point of view, and we're like, oh, this is why that happens. This is why she did it,
Yeah.
So it makes sense when you read the preview issue.
Well, I mean, the funny thing, speaking of all that, the funny thing, like another great thing to talk about or mention maybe is the origin. We needed a superpower. So if you want to maybe talk about our original idea for how he gained his powers, because I don't think we do that in the book. Do you remember?
Oh, I just made, and I can share it one day, but it's called like the ridiculously outlandish, origin of Average Joe or something like that. And I literally just took all the different superhero origins and crammed them into one thing. I don't want to get too much in that because I feel like that's going to be like that's one of those things you kind of have to see what I'm talking about, because if I mention the details, you're going to be like, what the what,
Yeah.
And you're like, look, just look at this original script and you'll understand.
So what you're saying, Joe, is they need to get the future issues that we're putting out to learn.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what you get, guys. A little teaser.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously we plan to do, a full 4-issue series, miniseries next year, which will just be like the first adventure of these characters. And this, because I know some people asked me, this is an original story in this preview issue, so this is not going to be like reprinted or recreated in the miniseries. Hopefully if we ever get to put this in a graphic novel collection, this will be part of it. Like you would read this first, and then it reads into the actual story. So I made sure to do it that way because, I've seen both types of preview issues as a comic fan. The type that literally just pulls pages from the upcoming issue and just puts them in a smaller book, But then I've also seen the one like this one where it's an original story that kind of sets up the world, and I prefer that because it's, to me it just makes it more original and special and a reason to actually have the preview issue. So
yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I don't know if anything else you want to go. I didn't want to make this too long because I want people to actually watch it. So
hey, we're humble.
Sometimes people look at the link, they're like, nope, not watching that. So
we should put something at the end of this. Like if you made it this far, blah, 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 you get this. You get a free copy of this. You get a signed selfie of Joe and me.
Yeah, because that's what people want. Well, anyway, I guess we'll just wrap it up there. There's obviously plenty more stories to tell, but we could do that at a later date, especially when we do the 4-issue miniseries. Thanks again to Comix Wellspring for helping us put this together. It's a beautiful book.
Absolutely.
So if you missed out on this, we may have some extras. I'll post about it if we do. If not, maybe in the future, if we get enough interest, we'll do another print run. So
yeah. And real quick, I just want to say again, thank you guys to all of y'all that ordered these. bottom of my heart, I appreciate it. Joe and I worked really hard on this. We poured our years and years of experiences into this. But seriously, I really appreciate it. It's very difficult to get something off the ground and to get your dream realized. So, we said in the very beginning, we just want to get something out there, and I'm really happy that we have. I am holding our dream right now. This was our dream to get something out. So this, guys, means the world to us. Even if we never do anything again, we've got this, and we're super proud of it. And we can't wait to hopefully, and we are already working on the actual book. This is just a preview, but we are already working on it. We have a ton of stuff, in the pipeline ready to go. So again, just thank you guys. Really appreciate your support. Get the word out if you get it, you like it. Tell your friends about it. Maybe they can order a digital copy. Like Joe said, they're always available at the website. I'm assuming you're going to put that in the link here somewhere.
Yeah, it's howtohuntahero.com.
Yeah, so you can go there and get the digital copy. Again, we might have some extra issues, so if we do, maybe reach out to us and maybe we can get you a copy. But again, thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Joe, for just all the hard work. And then also thank you, Comix Wellspring, for the amazing books. Thank you, Chuck, for all the help along the way. And then, of course, my family and friends and anyone else that I probably didn't thank for all the support and just motivation and everything, inspiration, to all my friends, to Jerry, to Pete, all those people that helped make this possible. Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.